Hey guys, it is Joshua Stern with Keller Williams Real Estate. You know me, I've built 2 top performing teams here in the state of Utah, and now I spend my time coaching and consulting for Keller Williams Utah, and a lot of what we're doing is right out of this book. However, moving forward, I want to start to answer some of the agents' questions that I've been getting in video format for you guys to see if it'll help you out. So in Keller Williams over the last month, and we'll be doing this again next month, we've been doing a lot of data mining, data research to help us have better conversations with our sellers and our buyers. And so I've had the question like, how do I explain absorption rates to my clients and do it very simply? So I guess the first thing I would wonder is, have you ever had a seller fight you on price? I have. And here's the secret weapon: absorption rates. And what that does is it really turns pricing conversations from here's my opinion of value into market science. And so the first thing that you have to do is you have to very easily explain the concept of absorption rates. So simply put, absorption rates are the supply and demand economics for real estate. So all economies are driven by supply and demand. In real estate, we use absorption rates to determine what that supply and demand is like. It measures the months of inventory. And here's the simple formula. You take all the available homes, and then you take that number and divide it by the homes that have sold in the past 30 days. So at the current pace, it would take X amount of months for all of the inventory to sell, assuming no other homes came on the market. However, it's important with absorption rates to also consider what I call like the activity index, and it measures the velocity in which inventory is either moving or not moving. And the way that we do that is we look at, in this area, how many homes had come on the market in the past 30 days versus how many homes have moved into pending status. So here are the basic categories, that help us determine the month supply. So if you have less than a 3-month supply, it's generally considered a seller's market. And sellers quite often can price ahead of the market when there is short supply of homes, right? There's higher demand, therefore we can usually price maybe 3% or so ahead of where the comparables are. If we have between a 3 and 5 month supply, it's considered a balanced market. It's not favoring the buyer, it's not favoring the seller. Again, directionality, or that velocity that we talked about, will come into play in that balanced market. You want to be priced right at market value when you're looking in a balanced market. And then when you have 5 months or more supply, you're moving into a buyer's market. How far determines how far above that 5-month supply you are. So homes have to be, for instance, in the top 30% in condition and the bottom 30% in price when you have, say, a 5 to 6 month supply. If you have a 6 to 8 month supply, you want to make sure that you're in the top 20% in condition and then the bottom 20% in price. If it's more than an 8-month supply, you want to be in the top 10% in condition and then again the bottom 10% in pricing. So how do we use this with our clients? Well, number one, you have to understand price bracketing for your seller's property. So it's important that we use absorption reports before your first listing appointment. You should be bringing these with you, right? You want to be that data person when you show up, not a salesperson. You want to consider your subject property and who the buyer is. Where are they coming from? Where else are they searching for homes like the subject property? That will become your geographic area. So you'll want to do an absorption report for that entire area for single family homes if it's a single family home. But if you're comping out, say, a townhome or a condo, do not include single family homes in those reports, okay? You want to do an absorption report for the entire area, but then you're going to want to break that report down into pricing brackets around the value of your subject property. So let's face this. $1 million homes in Magna, they're not going to move very quickly. So you need to be sure that you have realistic price bracket data for your subject property and the area. Now, don't overwhelm your folks with the math, okay? Just the takeaway. So example for a seller conversation is, right now we have a 2-month supply of homes that are on the market at the rate that buyers are currently buying, assuming nothing else came on the market. And that means buyers are moving fast, and you can probably push your price about 3% above where the comparables are. In contrast, if we had a 7-month supply, we'd need to be in the top 20% in condition and the bottom 20% in price to attract the buyers. So this frames the expectations up front, and it definitely avoids emotional pricing battles later, which, like you, like me, we've all been through. All right. Step 4 is just positioning yourself as the expert. Most agents just pull comps. I run absorption reports first because comps show the past, but the absorption reports show what's happening right now. And then you become the trusted economist, not just another opinion. And clients respect data-driven guidance more than sales speak. All right. And sales speak often leads to commission breath. I guess to wrap up, I want you to know at Keller Williams, absorption reports are simple, they're repeatable, they're confidence boosting. We're taking this to the next level. What we're actually doing, I think we'll do this on September 17th at 12 o'clock in the Keller Williams Salt Lake City office. We're going to build out a ChatGPT agent that will help agents turn all of this data into very clear dialogue and polished presentations for their clients. You don't just have the data, you actually will have the words, you're gonna have the confidence, you're gonna have the tools, the know-how, the knowledge to deliver it like a pro. See, knowledge builds trust. Knowledge is the currency that we spend to earn our clients' trust. And when your clients trust you, pricing conversations become effortless. So I encourage you guys to jump on board, start practicing doing absorption reports, run them every single week on your properties that you have listed. Always save the work that you started with. And if you want to reach out to me, if you've got a question, reply to this email, give me a call. I want to know what you guys are doing out there and what kind of questions you all have. Thanks for watching.